holidays from Breckenridge, Colorado, nestled in the Rocky Mountains and home of the Chapstick Challenge for disabled skiers. This event is one of many held across the country that demonstrates how far handicap sports have come, thanks in large part to the vision and the hard work of America's veterans. Some of the best handicapped skiers in the world came to Breckenridge for the Chapstick Challenge, but regardless of their skills, each one of these athletes is a champion. They have challenged themselves to do something many thought they could never do. While this event is for all disabled skiers, not just veterans, it is sponsored in part by the Disabled American Veterans and the Paralyzed Veterans of America. Veterans have made this happen through their involvement with National Handicap Sports, which conducts this event and others like it around the country.
Vietnam veterans started this organization and hold probably just about every key leadership position in it. And because we were here at a time and in a group, we started a lot of the sports for disabled that exist in this country some 20 years ago, and have spearheaded most of the movements.
Vietnam veterans primarily came back, and they were skiers before they went to Vietnam. They came back and they may have a limb missing here or there, or blindness, and they still wanted to ski, and they really have taken it upon themselves to organize this sport. And once again, they had the vision that, yeah, what's great for disabled veterans is also great for the rest of the disabled population.
I served in the 10th Mountain Division during World War II, and one of my fellow soldiers was a guy by the name of Jim Winters. And about the time when the Vietnam War came to a close, Jim was teaching skiing on the Donner Summit. And he started bringing many of these disabled Vietnam-era veterans out of the VA hospitals on the West Coast and teaching them skiing.
Because a lot of us were jocks before we went in the service, and we wanted to continue that aggressive physical activity, we went out and found ways to do it. And so we find a lot of veterans very, very active in the organization.
Rocky Mountain skiing is a physical challenge, and it's an uplifting experience for those of us on two strong legs and two good arms. National Handicap Sports is letting more and more people overcome disabilities to experience that thrill for themselves.
I've done a lot of sports, and I can't think of any besides polo that I haven't done. But this is the sport that gets the farthest away from the disability.
A long-standing member of the U.S. Disabled Ski Team, bronze medal, Mr. Peter Axelson.
You need recreation in your life, whether it's an active thing that you do or a passive activity. You have to have recreation activity in your life, because that's what gives you the inspiration and motivation to keep going, go to work, and to do all those other things.
It's inspiring to see athletes who are disabled accomplish so much. Their disabilities have not slowed them down at all, and on a personal level, it's very inspiring.
These veterans provide special inspiration to young people with disabilities, helping them realize that they can enjoy the thrill of physical recreation and competition.
We have disabled people running the organization, and it's a self-help group. And that role model is extremely important. The child, the young person, realizes that they can be successful, they can be capable, and they have something to look up to, something to aspire to, someone to aspire to, with the athletes now that are coming out of our disabled sports programs. And it's really a tremendous boost to them, because they can strive now to be some of the top athletes in the world.
Some special veterans from the Soviet Union accepted an invitation to discover handicap sports American style.
It's been a real pleasure for us to meet these fellows and compare notes in rough ways in Pidgin English and Pidgin Russian, and communicate as, in a way, we're brothers. We've been through an experience that's unique, and we've shared the experience of skiing together, and that's really great.
Chapstick Challenge sponsor United Airlines played a key role in getting the Soviet veterans here.
People at our corporate headquarters worked with British Airways to fly the participants from Moscow to Chicago, and then United Airlines transported them to Denver.
The special efforts of many people are responsible for the success of events like the Chapstick Challenge. The participants come for a lot of reasons: to learn, to teach, to train, to compete.
the minute I start thinking about trying to beat somebody, I'm there to try and ski the very best I can and to develop the technology to ski the best I can. And doing that with other teammates that are all going after the same thing, working together and supporting each other and pointing out where we need to work on our turns and where we need to get faster, that's what it's all about. It's really exciting to be able to work together as a team.
Like Pete Axelson, many of these racers are members of the U.S. Disabled Ski Team, hoping to qualify for the Nationals. While winning isn't everything, the thrill of victory is sweet.
And in first place, and the gold medal, former commander of the Disabled American Veterans, skiing out of that winter, Sports Haven, Arkansas, Mr. Chad Colley. I think his home ski area is Stone Patch, Arkansas, I'm not sure.
Winning the Chapstick Challenge was a special victory for Chad Colley, who is a special veteran and a really special person. Jim Clay caught up with him after a morning of skiing on fresh powder at Breckenridge.
Chad Colley is the past national commander for the Disabled American Veterans in 1985, now more prominent in the skiing world. He's a member of the 101st Airborne, and while he was in combat, stepped on a landmine. He lost both legs and an arm. And what we'd like to know, Chad, is how did you get motivated to become a skier?
Well, I tell you, I was put in a position where I couldn't say no. You know, wheelchairs and snow don't mix. So I thought, if there's anything I don't need, it's another hassle in my life. But Dick Wilson, a former mountain trooper, 10th Mountain Division from World War II, invited me to represent the DAV in Squaw Valley, California in 1983. And I saw it, and they got me involved in it, and I just loved it. And that's been my favorite single pastime, my favorite recreational sport since that time.
Now, did you have some real fear about getting out on skis when you first started out?
When the first few days, I looked at people down at the bottom of the hill, and they were laughing and milling about and seemed oblivious to the danger of me being uphill from them and out of control. At least I thought that. So once I learned to control the speed, and then the rest of it became much more enjoyable, and I didn't fear that I was going to hurt myself or someone else.
Through your career as a skier, you have become a member of the United States Olympic Handicap Ski Team. How did you get involved with that, and what are some of the events you're going to be participating in?
Well, I finally got good enough that they had asked me to join the team and practice with the team. And the principal event this year, this ski season that we'll be competing in as a team, is an international competition with all the disabled skiers from all around the world at Winter Park, Colorado at the end of February 1990. And that's an exciting thing when you compete with the foreign skiers, foreign countries. And it's just a thrill to me. I'm 45 years old. I'm skiing against kids 3 decades younger than I. And it's always an exciting time for me to be able to participate in this way.
What kind of a message do you have for handicapped people in relationship to doing something like this?
Well, the first thing is just exposure. People need to see that it is a possibility and see themselves doing it. Now listen, I've been around it for about 8 years, or been observing for about 8 years, and I still am amazed with what disabled people are able to do skiing. It's phenomenal, and I really get inspired by it, even though I've been involved in it in a pretty personal way. The main thing that people need to do is to come to a learn to ski clinic, such as the ones that Chapstick is sponsoring, and just try it. They got all the gear, all the instructors, and they'll make it as exciting and as educational as possible. And for some of us, we just can't get enough after that.
Now, when you get up on a hill, way up on top of these mountains, and you start your descent, what does that feel like?
Well, once you become an accomplished skier, it's just great. You love to charge ahead, head right straight down the steepest face, and you also like the looks of approval you get from able-bodied skiers. They look at guys like myself and say, how in the world do they do that? But they don't know that we are athletes, and we do practice, and we've mastered techniques that enable us to challenge steep courses like you find here at Breckenridge.
For a disabled person, maybe skiing is not something for all of them, but what has it done for you as a person, and being a handicapped person? What has it done for you?
Well, it's helped complete my rehabilitation. Now, if people saw me 15 years ago, they say, gee, that guy's got it all together. But what they didn't realize, it was things about my personality that I had not really come to grips with, or things about my disability. Skiing allowed me to do something very physical, very active again. Most of what the successes that I joined after I came back from Vietnam were not along the physical sports related fields. I always wanted to be my best, and always was competitive athletically. And somehow I felt that after my disability, I just wouldn't be any good, and I didn't think I could handle that. This enabled me. My exposure to skiing has shown me that within my disability, I can be competitive, I can be challenged, it can be very rewarding to me. So not only was I able to round myself out as a person again and do things athletically, but I also began to see carryover in other aspects of my life. It made other things more fun and challenging, and it also made me accept my disability in a new and a different way, because I would cut myself absolutely no quarter. I wanted to be the best there was in anything that I did, but there are concessions that now I'm willing to make with my disability that I would not do before I got involved in skiing and sports and the physical aspect.
I know a lot of people would like to know whether or not you were ever on a pair of skis before you became disabled.
I skied probably 3 or 4 days when I was 11 or 12 years old, and that was it.
That was it.
So this was a new experience for me.
Aside from the competition here at this Chapstick Challenge, what does something like this mean to you, Chad Colley?
Well, you know, for a handicapped person that gets around on 4 rubber wheels, this really gives me an opportunity to get away from the concrete and the blacktop. I mean, it is gorgeous here at Breckenridge. The snow, I mean, when you think of the holiday seasons and how to spend them, there can be a better place to do it than here, and I'm really pleased to be here.
Well, we couldn't find a better atmosphere with all this snow coming down, skiers in the background, and all these disabled skiers here competing on the slopes. It's just been a wonderful week. And I'd like to extend to you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and wish you much success in your competition with the U.S. Olympic ski team.
Well, thank you very much.
Hi, this is Airman Delynn Miller from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, my name is Petty Officer Croucher. I'm from Topeka, Kansas, and I want to wish everyone back home a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.